What's up, guys? The year is 2020. I am about to turn 20, and it is about damn time I showed the world my guitar collection. You guys ready? I started collecting guitars at the age of 10. I've had some come and go, but most of my main guitars have stayed with me throughout all the years I've been using them. All the guitars that I own have been purchased at the music store which I currently work and teach at, Limelight Music of Rochester Hills, Michigan. To start off, I'll show you guys my two beautiful acoustic guitars that I use to record all the acoustic parts on the Promises album by my band SIREN. To start things off today, I got my wonderful 90s Guild 12-string. I say 90s because I honestly don't know when it was made, and that's how a lot of things are going to go today. I know a lot about the guitars themselves, but when they were made, it's a mystery. This puppy comes equipped with some really good electronics by Fishman. It's got the mic for blend and the input on the strap button. All around is just a great sounding 12-string, and if you want to hear it, you can listen to Magic Woman, Promised Land, and I think that's it from the Promises album by my band SIREN. Alright, so now this is my lovely 2016 Lemon or Honey Burst, I can't remember, Gibson Hummingbird. It is the most expensive guitar in my collection, and I'm not the kind of guy that buys expensive guitars to display them. If you do, that's cool, I respect that, but I don't. This guitar has been dropped by my lead singer, Steve Curtis. It has a permanent scar right here, and I was very sad about it, but now whenever I see it, I think about him. Overall, it is one of the best sounding acoustics I've ever heard. Gibson, they make the best acoustic guitars out there, and it's a spruce top, mahogany back and sides, mahogany neck, and this guitar is all over the album. You can hear it on just about every track. Up next on this long list is just one of my main guitars. This is a beautiful 2017 Gibson Les Paul Classic, and I did a few mods to it to make it look a little bit more classic. To start off, I actually put the 50s knobs on here because I like the look of these a little bit better, and then I dressed her up with some bucker covers. I added my own poker chip, Crazy and Insane, and I put my last name, Milla, on the back, so I don't forget while I'm playing. Another key feature I really like on this guitar is the locking tuners. To me, this guitar is just one of those guitars that, God, fucking... Another feature on this guitar that I really like is the locking tuning heads. That is a killer feature. Overall, this guitar is just one of those guitars that works. When you need it, she's always in tune, ready to go, and the playability is there. I recorded like 80% of the album on this guitar, all the lead parts, all the solos. It's just got that fat body and it's got the fat Gibson sound. And it also has 57 Classics, which are some of the best pickups I've heard from Gibson. Here is my Gibson Les Paul Studio. It is 100% stock, and it is strung up with 12 gauge, not even slinky Ernie balls, and it is strictly for playing slide guitar. I used it on Countin' Baby Blues. So this guitar is not actually mine, but it makes the list of my rundown because I did record one song on the album. The opening track, Gone Tomorrow. All the intro and rhythm parts were done on this beautiful Epiphone P93 Riviera. Fucking A, that is hard to say. So this guitar has all gold hardware. It is beautiful. It's got the Bigsby, and it's a little harder to use to get used to having the 3 pickups, but you can definitely dial in some classic tones with this, and I thought it sounded really nice with the hollow body and the amp cranked up. It worked for that track, and I had a nice little tremolo. But this is my friend Max's guitar, and I take care of it while he's gone at school. Up next on this very long list is a guitar that was not used on the album, but I still really like it. It is a Hohner HS40, which resembles that one Ibanez guitar, if you know what I'm talking about. I'll link to it down below. But Ibanez, Yamaha, and Hohner, all three had very similar built hollow body jazz guitars. I don't play jazz on this. I play rock on it just like Nugent does and did with his Birdlands. It sounds really good. The only other thing I think you guys should know, it's got a really short neck, so you don't have a lot of scale length on it. And it's by Hohner, who usually makes harmonicas. I don't know if it's a rare guitar, but this is the only one I've seen like it. So I keep it in my collection, and I'd like to play a lot of Ted Nugent on it. Anyone who has played a Paul Reed Smith guitar knows that the way the neck feels in your hand is amazing. They're just very well built guitars. Paul, you make amazing guitars. This is one that we actually won at an auction, my mom and I. It is a Tremonti SE Custom 24, if that sounds right. It's got the bird inlays, and this is a very nice imported guitar. I've had no issues with it, and I keep this one in E flat. I string it up with 11s to get me a little bit more string resistance, and it's autographed by Tremonti himself. All around, just a nice guitar to have in my collection. One more thing I might show you guys is the neck through. I do like that feature a lot, but other than that, it's just a all stock Paul Reed Smith Tremonti. Up next on the list is a guitar that I love. It's a Fender Telecaster, and I was really excited when I got this one. I'd always wanted a Tele, but I did buy it a little bit cheaper because it was Mexican made. No big deal. So I took out the pickup and I put in a nice Broadcaster pickup from Seymour Duncan, which is the best sounding Tele pickup I have ever heard, and I slapped on the American Bridge. This guitar was used on the album a little bit. You can hear a lot of rhythm tracks with it and a couple leads, and actually the talk box part on Tell the Queen was done with this guitar. But other than that, I use it on a lot of rhythm stuff. It fits really well in the middle of the mix. It's just a stock Tele. I like the blonde color, and it's got the wood neck on the back, the sanded wood, which feels really nice in your hands. Earlier I showed you guys my lovely Gibson Les Paul. That is my main guitar. But then there's also this one, which is my other main guitar. I think it's really beneficial for me as a player to have a Fender Strat that I really love and a Gibson Les Paul. Now here's the twist though. This Strat sounds like a Les Paul. Why? Well, I put 3 humbuckers in my Strat. Yes, I know some people will really hate that, but I get the single coil sound out of my Tele, and I'm currently building a Strat with single coils, so I'll still get that single coil sound. These are Red Devil pickups from Seymour Duncan. They're Billy Gibbons signatures, and they sound hot. They sound like Texas. This guy is it's a custom by Seymour Duncan, and this sounds really good as well. Seymour Duncan makes a fantastic pickup. They're probably the best in the business, and I've loved every pickup I've ever bought from them. Other than that, it's a black on black American Special. It's got the jumbo headstock, which I like, and I think I'm going to put some locking tuners on it pretty soon. But this is just my road guitar. I use it when I teach. I use it for tour and stuff. I didn't record anything on it, but the next album, this thing's going to be featured a lot. She's pretty beat up too. This is my beater guitar, but I love her. Alright, we're getting towards the end of our list. I wanted to finish the last 2 guitars off with my coolest, most unique guitars I have in my collection. This guy has 2 names, Evan Miller Custom and Harley. Why is it called Evan Miller Custom? Well, it is the Evan Miller Custom. I'm Evan Miller, and this guitar is fully customized by me. I bought it with a body in the neck and the Floyd Rose, but I added these pickups, which are Joe Satriani's signature from DiMarzio, and this is actually a hybrid. So on a cleaner sound, it sounds more like a single coil, but when you add some gain, it has the features of a humbucking pickup. It's got 2 speed knobs, like I said, the Floyd Rose locking tremolo, 3-way toggle switch, and it's got locking tuners, so you bet your ass this thing is not going out of tune. One other thing that's really important to note, this neck and fingerboard is solid ebony. This thing is heavier than my Les Paul. This guitar is a rock. It sustains forever. I could play an A chord and you would literally hear it ringing out tomorrow. It also is actually constructed with mahogany and a maple cap, so it's very, very similar to the features of a Les Paul. This guitar was used on Harley and a lot of other songs on the album. I did a lot of layering. I know I'm saying that about every guitar. This guitar is featured a lot on the album. Well, that's true because I layered a lot of stuff. And like I said, this one was also on the album, but you can mainly hear it on Harley with the tremolo that we'll talk about later in the video. All right, the last guitar I'm going to show you today is an Italia Rimini twin neck guitar. This is a rare guitar, and it is my baby. I use this to recreate songs like Promised Land Live, where I can't have an acoustic 12-string and an electric. So having the electric 12 and 6 kind of gels everything together for the live version. This guitar was a custom order through Italia, And the only other person that I know of who has a similar guitar, it's the same guitar but different paint job, is Ricky Phillips, who's the bass player for Styx. Other than that, I don't know anybody who has one of these. The woodworking is absolutely incredible on the back, and it plays amazingly. The only problem was when we ordered this guitar, we were unsure of what color we would get when I ordered it through Limelight. There was no guarantee, but I got lucky and I wanted the sunburst and I got the sunburst. And I've looked at some of the Google images of their, this guitar that they have on their website, and I noticed that mine's a little bit of a darker burst. So really, if I knew someone else who had this guitar out there, I don't think they would look all the same, in the sense of paint jobs on the guitar. The controls are, similar to the Gibson EDS 1275. It's down for the 6-string neck, up for the 12, and this corresponds. So if I have it in the bridge position for the 12-string, it's also going to be in bridge for 6, which that is a nice feature. I also like how it plugs in kind of reverse of the Stratocaster. Other than that, it's a semi-hollow, which does give it a little bit more of an acoustical tone, and I like how it has the banjo-style tuning pegs. That way you can bring the necks a little bit closer together, so when you neck hop, you're not forced to jump like a mile to the next neck. But yeah, this is my Italia Rimini 12-string and 6-string, and it is an absolutely beautiful guitar, but good luck getting your own because it was a long wait. So for my live rig, I like to keep it really simple. This is just a Fender Hot Rod Blues Deluxe 1x12, and I don't even use the speaker in it. I like to run the mids and bass pretty high. I like a fatter sound, but that's it. It's just a Fender Blues Deluxe. I run it with Mesa tubes. Now this is the latest addition to my amp family. This is a supersonic speaker cabinet from Fender, and there's a matching head that goes with it, but I didn't want that. I just wanted something to round up my tone a little bit, and the closed back speaker cabinet really did that. It made everything sustain a little bit more, it made everything a little bit fatter. I don't even use the speaker in my Blues Deluxe. I just run these two, which are Celestion vintage output speakers, and they sound fantastic. And this is all stock. I like that it's got wheels. It's very heavy. You can tilt it back when you're on stage, and that's part of the reason I can't hear anymore. All right, I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. I cannot remember the exact order of the effects chain, but I'm going to try to remember it. But let me start with telling you guys how it's powered. The board is powered with a Voodoo Lab pedal power. Oh, there goes my cable. And that powers all the higher voltage pedals. And then I actually run a one-spot daisy chain. Very simple in it. Everything's powered. The only pedal that isn't included in that power list is my talk box, which requires its own outside source. I don't always use it, so I don't always have it with me. So the signal chain starts right here with my hands. I play the guitar. From the guitar, we go straight into my polytune, which is a true bypass, and that is my kill switch when I need to switch and mute guitars. It's also a wonderful tuner and is the most important pedal on my board because I like to be in tune. Then after the polytune, I think I go straight to my talk box, which drives itself. There's no overdrive pedals necessary. I drive the box itself. And from the box, I come out to, you know what? I think I go tuner to wah, then to box. No, I was right before. So, okay. The box comes out to my tube screamer here. And then I run from lightest distortion, or overdrive, lightest overdrive, heavier overdrive, to my full lead distortion, which I really don't use this guy a whole lot. It's a killer pedal, and it does sound badass, hence the name Super Badass. But I usually use this for all my rhythm. I'll punch the boost for a lead, and sometimes I'll run all of these together, which really gives me a fat sound. After this, we have some colorful effects like my chorus, my phaser, and Supro Trem. I want to take a second to talk about Supro Tremolo pedals. That is the hottest trem on the market. This thing drives my amp so hard, and if you don't believe me, listen to the intro of Harley. It is a big sounding tremolo pedal. Right now I actually have it set to do a really cool choppy, like a helicopter effect, but I can always just quickly adjust it to the tempo of Harley. Another thing is you can run an express pedal to increase your trem. Then following that, I have some delays down here. I use a long delay and a short delay, and I usually punch these in for all my leads because I'm the only guitar player, so it fills in that space. I have a noise gate if things are getting too noisy, and I have this Boss reverb pedal, which I actually use for the synthesizer setting on it to make my guitar sound like a synth for Magic Woman. And I use the reverb right from my amp otherwise. So I know it was a little confusing. Maybe someday I'll do an update video when I redo the board on the true order, but at least you know how I'm making my guitar sound the way it sounds. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was really fun talking about all my stuff that I have, all my guitars and amps and pedals. Like I said, everything had been purchased at Limelight Music. And yeah, a lot of people have been asking me to do a video like this, and I finally got to it like 6 years after it was requested. So I'll be more timely with other video requests. You know, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. You know the drill. Hit the bell icon. And yeah, I appreciate you watching the video. I'll link to everything down below. Till next time, thanks guys.